I'm Gaz, and this is Let's Play Timberborne. This is a 6-pack series, and this game was given to me by the developers. The game is still in beta, it's still in development, but they gave it to me for a review copy, so I figure why not? We'll play it for a little bit. It's basically a colony survival game, similar to like RimWorld or Dwarf Fortress, but with beavers. So we start out with just the common beaver and a few maps here. We might be able to unlock a few of these through this series. I'm just going to start with a canyon. Starting out, I might explore some of the other maps here. We'll see how well I do in the first colony. The maps themselves are not actually randomly generated. It is the same map every time you log into it. I don't know if they plan to change that, but it does at least allow you to kind of have an idea of layouts. A lot of little things to expand to. I don't know how far I'm going to have to go. I'm not really sure. Boy, why would I? I'm not really sure why I'd want to go up into the mountains right now. So we've got our little colony here. And the game lacked some documentation. It doesn't really have a lot pointing you where you need to go and how you need to start the game. Hopefully they will add that as well. There is, however, a crises list going on over here that kind of gives you an idea of what you need to do. So we start out with adults and children, which we see over here. The one on the left is beavers that are homeless, and then on the right here are the amount that are sheltered. And then we also have an employment tab, kind of similar to Banished, telling you how many beavers you've got sitting around doing nothing, and then who's assigned to what. We've got goals, basically just those beaver unlocks. I'm sure more will be added, and then kind of the level that we're at for well-being to unlock those beavers. So I'm hoping for at least the 8, the middle beaver, and then we'll see what that's about. So anyway, we have to get these people employed, and we see here that we already start with a structure, and the structures in this game can be tiered. So this one on top is a builder's hut, and right now only 2 of the workers are maxed out here. We can do a 4, so we're going to have all 4 possible beavers be builders. We have a lumberjack flag. Now these flags are necessary for the gathering of materials, which is a little bit annoying. You can't just say, okay, I need to assign this and then have people go to it. You actually have to have a flag, and then it will assign 2 of these beavers to that, and they will work. So what that means is that as we clear out some of these resources, I'll be building more to go out. But right now we can actually start collecting some of these materials, and we're going to need logs right away because, of course, we are beavers. So we'll have to come down here, tell them to cut trees and plants, and we can choose only mature trees, or basically all of the trees. We're just going to start with mature trees. They do regrow over time. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and tell them to do all of this. Now, these ones that are grayed out here, you can see those are out of range of that little lumberjack flag. But that's okay. Early on, we will not outpace the regrowth of that forest, and we've got more trees over here anyway. So we need logs and we need food. Materials is basically just the logs. Food and water, and then of course science, but that comes a little bit later. So we need to start gathering berries down here. We'll cut down all of those and start making that, but again, this is gray, so we need to come into food and water and find a gatherer's flag so that we can have them build that. Now, it's kind of important to pay attention to the zone of influence here, too, because you can see that as I go further this way, their walking distance shrinks, and they're not able to gather all the stuff up here. So I'm going to kind of try and put it out here so that it gets all of the gathering that I can. Now, just like the lumberjacks, only 2 will be able to work here. It may come a point where I'm going to need to add more just so we have more people. Also, we're being told I need to have a store yard for the logs I will be cutting down, so I'm just going to put that down there. We can put down roads and all that stuff. I think that just has impact on the speed in which they move. Another thing we need, though, is water. They will dehydrate, and we need to do that here with the watering place. Basically, this just goes on a river, and only 1 beaver can use 1 at a time, so I'm just going to put 2. And I'm not going to build paths right now because that's going to take away some of their attention. So this will be good here. Hopefully, there's no way to prioritize anything that I can see. Maybe there is, but it's just not very obvious. So hopefully they'll do what they need to be doing here. Again, because the game is in early stages, there's no real animations or anything like that. I'm not sure if there's going to be clothing and whatnot that the beavers can get. But right now this guy's just standing here. He is actually, in fact, working. So as soon as that's built, at least someone will be making food, which is nice, I guess. Oh, it's only a maximum of 1, actually. Well, that's not so great. We have 2 jobless. How do I... No jobless beavers in range. Okay, well, apparently they're taking their sweet time. Let's go ahead and speed things up here just a bit. We'll start getting us some logs, and they'll start building these down here. So that's going to be good. Okay, now everyone's employed. That's great. Okay, so that cycle is going. As soon as we get a watering hole done here, I will start putting pathways down. That will kind of help us out a little bit. So yeah, if we've only got one beaver gathering food, we're probably going to need multiples over here. We can start growing carrots and potatoes and all that, and that deals with nutritional needs. We see here that some of the well-being is nutrition 1, 2, 3. The tooltips actually do tell you everything that they provide for, so that's helpful. But okay, so I'm gonna make that up there. Now, you see these little pads down here. These are sleeping spots. Since the beavers don't actually have homes, we'll start building that here soon too, as soon as I've got some logs built up. The beavers will reproduce over time, and it doesn't necessarily seem like you have to wait for the children to grow up. Like, pretty soon here we're going to get another adult that I think is just going to come out of nowhere. But yeah, this what seems to be pretty cool about this game is that it does have levels. So you can do tiered building and put things on top of each other. Or at least the flat houses and other buildings. Like, obviously I don't think we could build on top of this one. But basically that means you can make beaver skyscrapers. And I'm hoping we're going to find a few more customizable things. There's some beautification decoration, all this stuff. This unlocks with science. We're definitely not ready for that yet. Okay, well, as soon as the day flips around here. Now, the day also has sort of a breakdown cycle here. You can see there's actual color around the wheel, and that kind of tells you when they'll work, when they'll sleep, when they'll do other things. I don't know. I would imagine that, kind of like RimWorld, you can set up, they'll have plans to set up schedules and all that. I don't know that. I don't know anything about the development of the game, but I would just assume that if you've got an actual time clock over here, then you're kind of planning on doing something with that. Zakundi has grown up, so we actually still have the same number of beavers, but one is now a working adult, and we can see that they are jobless, so that's lots of fun. But all of our building projects are done, so let's get these people into some homes here. So each house will hold 2 adults and 1 child. So what that basically means is that we right now need 4 homes. Oops. Hit the wrong one there. To house everyone. I do not know what negative impact there is for the beavers to sleep outside. Okay, that actually went up pretty quick. So we'll put down 2 more here. Now obviously I could make this look a little bit nicer, split them up so their windows aren't slammed right into each other and all that stuff, but at the moment I'm not terribly concerned with that. And we can see over here now that 4 of my 8 adults are housed, so that's moving along there. And we've used up all of our wood, so it is entirely possible that I may want to utilize this jobless beaver here to help them chop down. On the other hand, I could put another one of these gatherers down. We seem to be okay on food. I'm not seeing food go down. Not to a startling degree, anyway. Although now that I say that, maybe it is. Well, it may be that I want to add that real quick, but there are some other things that we're going to need to do here. So, as these are being built, I need to, as I say, take some of these buildings here, or these needs, and make buildings for them. So, the next easiest one to get would be the leisure campfire. I think we can probably just put that here, maybe? I don't know. Putting it central to town, I guess, kind of makes sense too. So we'll actually separate it here, and I will path around that just for the look of the thing. Keep my builders a little busy. We're at 3 well-being goals. We only need to have 8 to get the eager beavers. What's the next one after that? Fancy beavers. I'd kind of like to see a reference to angry beavers, but I don't feel like that would be a good thing to have. Maybe at some point when you don't fulfill their needs, they do become angry beavers. Okay, so now we've got housing for everyone. That's great. We see here that I've got wooden stairs, footbridges, and scaffolding that I can eventually unlock through science. I imagine that's how you'd build things like this to get up to a platform so that we can have, porches over this, and then I can build a second layer for an apartment complex or whatever. But anyway, what do we need now? Well, we should probably get someone else on food because that is actually going down. But instead of putting them on a gatherer, I'm actually going to take and do a carrot field. Carrot field will satisfy nutrition level 1. And it will help out a little bit. I'm just going to fit that over here. And we're going to be short 1 worker for it, but I guess that's okay. I would kind of like it if the camera also didn't snap back, but whatever. What was this again? Small warehouse, right. Okay, we are actually pretty full. Pretty close to capacity on this. Storage. Okay, so I can build another one, but it does not look like you build onto storage. Okay, and with that we hit level 4. So comfort will grow up as all the beavers take a turn around the campfire. That's good. I'm actually kind of surprised we have not seen another adult beaver here. Construction lacks materials. Okay. So, well, okay, as we see here, this has diminished a lot, so need to come in here and just kind of refill that. This is filled up. I'm not sure why they're not going up here to gather for food. Maybe I have to make a pathway to that? That wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. Seeing how they don't need pathways, but we'll try it anyway. Okay, we are, in fact, well, we got 1 more baby beaver. Which means I'm probably going to want to start considering a secondary housing area. Because once we get another beaver, they're going to need a place to live. Decorations, right, I need to get some science going. So, when this thing finally gets done, and, here's the problem where I've got my beavers focusing on roads and other things, taking materials away from this. I see. So now that I've already swapped over to an adult, it's not enough. They need their own house. And I'm not real thrilled with how slow this is going. Woodworking lumberjack flag. Maybe I'll make another one out here. We don't have anyone who's unemployed, though. Okay, so in order to start unlocking a bunch of stuff, we're going to need to have some science. So let's do science. And this just requires one worker. Oh, we have... Okay, we got enough housing now for another adult. So let's take this and... You know what, I'll just put it here. Why not? I'm just thinking about taking up more river spots because I don't really want to do that if I need more watering holes. Eventually, it's in here somewhere, but I can get a water fountain or something like that. But yeah, for now, let's just get an inventor's hut. We'll put it right there. Hopefully, oh good, we've got an unemployed beaver. That is perfect. And we're at level 5. Even more perfect. Well, we were, and then we dipped down because of social life. Well, that's good, because that means that beaver can then come here and be a scientist. And that will slowly start building up our science. Must be a kid. Oh, well, also, the fact that I told them, whoops, that is absolutely the wrong thing, that I had them stop gathering is also a problem. Just sitting there. Not so good. But yeah, I think the next thing is definitely going to have to be getting our materials up and running. Okay. So we got Matuna, who is currently generating 3 science points. Productivity is only 87%. Okay. Not real sure about that. This is spending some time growing, and we are halfway through our food, so hopefully this will start growing here. Toot sweet. And I'm really hoping that, you know, maybe it's actually really difficult. I could tone down on the builders now, actually. Oh, or we just have ourselves a worker. I was going to say I could tone down on the buildings, but I think I'm actually going to put in another gatherer. Just as a temporary thing. And we also have someone now who's homeless, so we need to keep up on that as well. Let's get a pathway going. So, now, if I want to... I mean, there's plenty of room to expand in this valley, but if I really want to just build scrapers and whatnot, we're looking at 70 science points, 120, 90. Okay, that's a lot. That's actually quite a lot. Water pump, that's what I was looking for. Satisfies thirst. 70 science points, and we're at 9 right now. So how do I increase my science? Other than just having more inventors' huts, I'm not really sure. We could also start doing some this. 20 science points just to have shrubs. 80 for a bench. 120 for roofs, special roofs. I feel like that's a little bit high for a shrub. But, you know. So we'll put like a shrub and a bench or something in the back of this. Okay, we are back up to that. We now have 16. Oh boy. We're about to be... You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say continue the build, and we will future-proof just a little bit. Okay, so thinking about what comes next. I'm working towards Nutrition 1. That will be after the harvest, which is going to be quite some time. It takes 4 days to get a yield, so We're not going to have that anytime soon, which means I probably should need to tell them to gather a bit more. The reason they're not gathering this stuff up here is because I did not designate it. Also, we need more lumber. That's going to be real annoying real quick, forgetting that I need to go keep that stuff. Okay. So, got that going. We've got that. Next up, let's look at these goals here. So we'll get nutrition. Let's look at maybe fun. What generates fun? Spirituality, knowledge, fun. The carousel, 700 points. Okay, that's not going to be a thing. How about knowledge? Well, spirituality. Spirituality is 300 points. What do we need this for? Planks. Okay. Forester. Plants trees around a building. Gear workshop. Paper mill. There is this power station where we can have a water mill, and that powers these buildings. So planks will be necessary for this because we need logs and planks. 1,000 science for monuments. Criminy. So what that actually tells me is that I should probably be focusing a little bit more on inventors' huts. That's a lot. That's a lot of science. It'd be nice if things got added to this where you could, have boosts, like you could build like a workbench or, some add-on that increases the crafting progress, or do something to train these people. I don't know, but because this is going to take a while just to get some very basic elements. We can also work on potato fields, because potato fields, when you do a grilled potato, gives us nutrition 2. So we're working on nutrition 1 with the carrots. Nutrition 2 would be pretty simple. I'm not sure what not sure. Oh, here we go. Builder's hut. A hauling post. Haulers assist workers within range. Oh, so the workers can just stay there, and then I can have someone dedicated just helping out hauling. I can put 10 people into that position. Okay. Well, there's a little bit more to develop, and so I think we'll go ahead and call this one here, and then we'll pick it up next time.